You're welcome to my channel. You're welcome back again. This is Net Solution, and today's tutorial, this is our fifth class on Python programming. Okay, this is our fifth class. In case if you are new here, you can go through our channel. Just go to the description. You receive a link there on how you can go through our courses, the first class, second class, third and fourth. This is the fifth class. Okay, now in this class we are going to go more advanced in Python. Okay, without wasting much of your time, let us proceed. Okay, for us to go more, I would like us to touch more on methods in Python methods. Let's touch more on method before we go more deeper. Okay, remember I've taught you guys what is input. Okay, we may say s is equals to, remember the equal sign means assignment operator. Okay, s assigned the inputs. We want to make an input. Okay, input with the open and close brackets. Then using string, we enter what we want to display for the user. Okay, we may say enter a number, or maybe enter 4 digits. Enter 4 digits number. We add a small space here, so it will add a space when we call it. Okay, we'll run this. Sorry, we are running another program. Okay, we'll run this. As you can see here on our interpreter, it says enter 4 digits. Okay, you can see there is a space here which allows us to type from here, okay, without joining with this. It is because of we added space here. If we should remove this space, the words will join together with the number, so we should add a space there, or maybe a colon. Okay, now enter 4 number. Maybe I enter 4562. Okay, first, before we continue, let me, I have to do some certain things, and maybe let's check what the user enters. Okay, let's just print it out. Print s. Remember, s is a variable that contains the data which the user enters. Okay, I may say 2345. I should hit enter. It now prints out what I entered, 2345. You can add it to the string by entering a string here, then use a comma to separate the both, or you can use the plus sign to concatenate the string you enter here and the variable. Maybe you entered, or maybe your input is, your number is plus what you entered. Okay, if I should run that, enter 4 digit number, sorry, 4567. It says your number is 4567. Okay, now to use methods in Python, you might check if this starts with 4, or maybe uh, is an uppercase or a lowercase. Or let's check uh, enter your name. Okay, let's remove this. Let's say z assigned s dot. Now all of these things here are methods. Method starts with dot. You can see the split. This will split the input in several ways. We have learned about split on our previous class. We have learned about split. This is join, this is lower, this is upper format. All of these things are methods in Python. They are methods in Python. Okay, we use split to split what the user enters. Okay, let us try to use split for now and see what will happen. Okay, the split with the open and close bracket. Okay, Now we specify what we want to split it with. Remember, split method splits the input or whatsoever it is. It splits it with anything you provided here. Okay, if I should provide an empty string, remember what I included here is just a space. Okay, if I just hit space, now I want to split the user's input wherever it finds space, it should split it. Okay, I can then let me print Z. After splitting it, it stores this on Z. Okay, now if I should run this and says it says enter your name, maybe I enter Francis. Francis next solution. You can now see once I hit enter, it splits the two. Okay, you can see the first one here, Francis, and the second one here, net solution. It splits it. Okay, now to confirm this more, we can say Z and Y. These are multiple variables. Z and Y equals to assigned S dot split. Okay, now let's run this once more. I said Francis. Okay, you can now see it prints only Francis. Okay, because we printed just Z. We printed just Z. Now it has splitted the two of them. It has splitted Francis and net solution using space because there is a space here. And once it finds space, it cuts the two programs. It cuts them and then store one on another variable and store the next on another variable. In this case, Francis will be stored on Z as the first variable. Okay, Francis is the first letter. It will store on Z as the first variable, and net solution will be stored on Y as the second variable. Now I have printed Z and I got Francis in return. What if I should print Y? Let's print Y. Enter your name, Francis. Francis net solution. Remember there's a space here. Okay. Now if I should run this now, okay, you can now see net solution. Okay, it printed net solution. Net solution is stored on Y and Z is stored with Francis. I can print Z and then maybe escape character. Okay, now what this does, this is a new line. This backstroke n simply means new line. The backstroke means escape, while n means new line. So joining the both together means new line. This will write Francis on the first line and then go to the next line and add the second data on the variable y, which is net solution. Now let's run this to confirm that. Enter your name. Sorry. Enter your name, Francis. I add space net solution. When I hit enter, you can see Francis net solution. Okay, Francis is stored on Z, net solution is stored on Y. So that's the help of backstroke n. It's a new line. It's puts it in a new line. Okay, so that is the help of split. We have used split to divide the two words. Wherever is find space, just divide them wherever you find space. Now what if I enter comma? There is no comma in my input. I want to divide wherever it says comma. Let's run it again. I said Francis. Francis next solution. You can see it gives us an error, not enough value to unpack. Okay, there's no comma on my input, so it cannot unpack it, so it gives us an error. But if I should include a comma there, it will unpack it, like Francis comma net solution. Although I added a space here, it will overlook the space, and once it finds comma, it will divide it. you can now see Francis net solution. I can equally remove the space and print it. Okay, let me run this again and remove the space. Once it finds a comma there, it will work. Sorry, Francis net solution. Okay, can now see the sentence Francis net solution. So that is how it works. That is how the split works. We have many methods in Python. There are say a lot of them. You can see dot split dot join. Okay, join joins two words together. It joins the words together, like the join. This will join. I think we should put, yes, a strange. Then what we want to join? I want to join S. Now look at the syntax of this one. Okay, Z assigned empty string. Okay, empty string dot join means there's no space here. I'd not include any space here. I just write the string and leave it like that. So it will join the words together. It will remove all spaces. Okay, and join the words together. Now the empty string dot join. What do you want to join? I want to join the data on S. Okay, so this is how this works. Then print Z. Everything here are stored on Z. I can say print Z and then print S. Remember, S is the data that contains the input. Z is the data that contains the joined uh, uh, issues. Okay. Now enter your name. I can say Francis. Nice solution. I include a space here. Now if I should run this again, let's see what will be the answer. Okay, you can see this one says Francis next solution. This says Francis next. There's a space here. Why was there space? All right, so to make use of this join, you have to separate input words that are separate. Okay, the Francis next solution are stored on S, so they are just on one variable. So we have to split them, so it's another variable, and then try to use join to join them again. Okay, I can say maybe A assigned S dot split. Remember, S is the input, that is the input dot split. I want to split with space. Wherever you find space, just split them. Okay, after splitting them, let me print at least to show you guys what I mean. Print A. Okay, after splitting them, print them. Then come down here and then join them again. Z assigned strange, but there's no space. Remove anything space dot join. What do you want to join? I want to join S. No, I want to join A this time around. I want to join A. Remember, A is where the walls was splitted. I want to join A. This should be A and B. Okay, that should be A and B. No, let's leave this on A only. Then join A. Now let's run this. Your name, Francis. Net solution. Okay. Now what's happened here? I first take the input and store it on S, then use A as a variable and then assign S dot split. After splitting the characters, assign it on A, then print the splitted characters, which is this. Okay, it has splitted them on Francis next solution. Okay, now it has splitted them and store it on A. Then I now came back here and say Z assigned just string, empty string dot join. What I want to join, I want to join A, which is this. I want to join them together. Okay, now don't join A and print Z. Oh, I printed the Z two times. Okay, it doesn't matter. And printed Z. Okay, now it has joined the whole words together. You can see here it has joined the whole words together and no space, as I included space here, but there was no space again. It has joined everything together. I can also add a space here, join them with the space. Okay, let's run it again. We say Francis. you can now see it has joined them with a space. There's a space here. Okay, there's a space here. It can join them with a space. I can equally join them with anything, maybe with dash. If I should run this, you can see it has joined them with a dash. So that is what join does. Okay, join is a method in Python. That is what it does in Python. Okay, we can include other other Python functionalities. Like I said, you have many methods. We have treated split, join, lowercase. We have treated in our previous video. Go and watch our previous video. Lowercase, uppercase. This lowercase returns the characters to lowercase. Okay. S dot lower. We print out every data on S, the first letter into a lowercase. S dot upper, we print into a uppercase. Capitalize, we capitalize the first letter. Format. Okay. Let's check. Now s dot format. What format does? Format a string to a specific pattern or how you want it. Okay, we may say s is equals to maybe a list. S equals to a list of name. We use the curly bracket for formatting. Okay, name. Maybe it's not found. Name is not found. Okay, let's say maybe name is not found. We don't know the name that is not found, so we use the format method to place the name here, which is not found. Okay, we may say um s dot format. Now what we want to format, we want to add something like, is it, no, this should not be here, this should be inside. Let's remove this here, place it here, dot format. Okay, now I want to add Francis. Now what this does is that it format wherever it finds this, the curly bracket, it enters Francis there. Okay, now here's the curly bracket. Let us print s. Now see what happens here. Name Francis is not found. Okay, name Francis is not found. On our input, there's nothing like Francis. We just have name curly bracket is not found. Then dot format Francis. Okay, this is what format does. Once you include the curly bracket and enter what you want to enter, it will format it and place the value there. And it is also called a placeholder. This is also called a placeholder. Okay, once you include the placeholder, then dot format. Now let us include many more placeholders. You may say name this, and name the, okay, let's just change everything. My name is, you include a placeholder, and I'm from, you include a placeholder, yes, old. Okay, my name will be here, and I'm from, my country will be here, and I'm years old, my age will be here. Okay, now what really happens here is that we use the format method to format. As you can see, the color here changed, means that there's an error. Why this error is occurring is because we have only one value on the format. Why we specify like three three placeholders. So we should have about three values here. Okay. According to how it was placed, this is the first one, second one, and third one. First one here is the name, second one is country, third one is the age. Okay. Now first one is name. After name, we include our country. Maybe let me just type in US like that. Okay. Let me just type in US. Okay. Now the third one should be my age. Maybe I'm 25 years. As you can see, the yellow color has left because the syntax is now okay. It is now okay with our syntax. The syntax is now okay. So that is how it works. If I should run this, and let's see, you can see here my name is Francis and I am from US. I'm 25 years old. Okay. Now we can do a lot of things with this. We can include other methods like dots upper. Okay. Dots upper, it will change this Francis to an uppercase. Then USA, let us make this one maybe dot case food, so we'll know what it does. USA is dot case food, and then uh age, I think we should leave age like that. Now if I should run this, you can see my name is Francis. Remember I said dot upper. Francis was entered in a lowercase, and here it was written in uppercase, which is by the help of this upper here. My name is Francis in uppercase, and I'm from US. US case food is still remaining in lowercase. Okay, I'm 25 years old. Okay, let's change this to capitalize. Okay, let's run it again. My name is Francis and I'm from US. As you can see, capitalize just capitalize the first letter and remain and left others in lowercase. That's what capitalize does. It will capitalize the first letter and leave others. While uppercase will capitalize every letters there to uppercase. That is what that does. Okay. Now if I should write this in uppercase and then turn this to case food. Let's see. Remember, all these are written in a lowercase. Now it returns it in a lowercase. I wrote this in uppercase, but yet it returns it in a lowercase. Why? Case food turns every uppercase to lowercase. Case food turns every uppercase into a lowercase, while lowercase turns only the first letter to lowercase. Let's change this to a lowercase and run it again. Okay, it turns everything into lowercase again. That's what it does. But if I should remove this and run it, it will return in uppercase. You can see it have returned in uppercase. There's also what we called swap case. Okay. Now swap case, swap whatsoever it is. This is just an opposite. Okay, it's just an opposite. It was upper and it has swapped it to a lower case. If I should change this to a lower case, it will turn it to an uppercase. Like as the name implies, as you can see here, is now an uppercase. That's what swap case does. Swap turns every uppercase to lowercase. Here you understand more about swap. Let me say maybe this is an capital letter. This is a capital letter, and maybe this also a capital letter. Okay, now if I should run this, okay, let me turn R also in capital letter. Okay, it's still on upper. Let's turn it to swap case. You can see what happened here. It turns every capital letter to lowercase and lowercase to capital letter. As you can see, FRA was capital letter here, but right here it has turned to a lowercase, and NC is a lowercase, but here is a capital letter. I was a capital letter, now is a lowercase. S was lowercase, here it was a capital letter. That is what swap case does. It turns the input to whatsoever it does. Okay, we have a lot of method. We have a lot of them. Just calm down and then go through the methods in Python. You can say dot, this is an uppercase, split, capitalize, format, lower, swap case, case fold, a lot of them. There are a lot of them. Join, okay, like we did. There are a lot of them. Is alpha. Is alpha uh, 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 checks if the input is, if the input started with alpha, or maybe it's an alphabet. Okay, maybe the input, depending on how we want to use it, but this simply means what you enter is an alphabet. If it's not an alphabet, it will return maybe an error, something like that. Start switch, check if your input or a data or a value starts with so specific. After entering the start switch, you enter other ones. I think I will make another video for this method. There are a lot of them. Okay, so this is where I'll stop for method. Okay, for now, this is where I'll stop on method. Now let us dive into other things. Okay, I want us to do more flowcharts, flow on Python. There are a lot of them on Python. Something like the if statements in Python. Okay, the if statements in Python. Now these are how if statement works in Python. If statements are used for comparison, to compare two data or to compare something, like normally how we speak our language, normally comparing this and that. Maybe if this is this, do this. Okay, that is what if statement does in Python. It's used for comparing a value, or anything like that. Okay, let us move on to practicalizing so you understand more about if statements. Now we may say s equals to int. Okay, input, please enter an integer. Okay, what this does is that the int here uh, uh is an integer. It typecasts everything that is entered inside of it into an integer. Okay, it checks if everything you enter is an integer. Okay, now this is an input function. Input function allows you to make an input. Okay, now if I should copy this, or no need to copy that, back to my PyCharm, you may say s is equals to, remember we have did about these data types, integer, remember integer are numbers, or before the integer, maybe I want to make an input. A is an input, enter a number. Okay, s is equals an input, then the input I want the user to enter a number. Now here, print s, maybe print type s. Okay, the type function returns the data type of s, the type the user enters, or the data type of s. Maybe enter a number. If I should enter maybe, sorry, maybe an alphabet and hit enter, it says strange. The data type is strange. Remember, this is a string, it's an alphabet. Okay, it's a string, and is a strange. Okay, it returns a strange. Even though I enter a number, maybe let me enter a number 2345, I hit enter, it says strange. It still returns strange because the input function returns a strange. Okay, it returns a strange, but I want this to be a number. Okay, I want this to be a number and not a strange. I want it to be giving me a number and not a strange. Now to do that, we include int. Okay, then open and close bracket, wrap it in a bracket. Now once I have wrapped it in a bracket, int wrap in a bracket, what I have in my bracket is input, what the user enters. Now whatever the user enters will pass through int, and int will convert it into an integer and store it on s. Now print data type of s. S will now become an integer. If I should enter a number and hit enter, it says class integer. Okay, what if I enter an alphabet this time around? What if I enter an alphabet and hit enter, maybe d d d, oh sorry, d d d d, and hit enter? It gives me an error because what I entered is not an integer. It said value error, invalid literal for int with base 10. Okay, it gives me an error because what I entered was not an integer. So this is how we work the integer there, convert everything there into an integer. Okay, now let us use the if statement and check. If s, maybe, okay, if s is greater than 10, I add column. Remember to add column. Okay, this is just like a closing. Like on website we have opening tag and closing tag. This is just like a closing tag to close the what you opened. Okay, now once I add the column, okay, once I add the column, I have closed it. Then right here I'll enter what I want to enter. I may enter print, yes, yes is greater than 10. If s is greater than 10, print this. Okay, now let's run this. It asks me to enter 10. Maybe I enter 20. Ask me to enter a number, I enter 20, I hit enter. He said yes is greater than 10. 20 is greater than 10. Now if I should run this again and enter maybe 5 and hit enter, it does nothing. Okay, you can see there it does nothing because 5 is not greater than 10. So we use if statement to compare. It's a comparison operator. It's a comparison operator. We use it to compare values. Okay, what if I remove the int function and then run it and enter and 20 again? If I should enter 20 again, this will not work because uh what we are looking for is an integer and this is a string. If I should hit enter, it says type error not supported between instance of string and integer. This is now a string, and my input 20 is now a string and not an integer because I have removed the int function which I used to convert everything here. And as you can see here, this color changed. That color change means there is an error. To settle that, I can turn this into a string also. If I turn this into a string also and run this, let's see, I don't know what this is going to give me. Let's check. If I should hit enter, it says yes is greater than 10. Okay, maybe let me enter 5. I think it should also work. It still says it's greater than 10 because it's not seeing this as a number, it's seeing it as an integer. Sorry, it's seeing it as a string. So it cannot concatenate, it cannot compare the two of them because they are just a strings. So this should be a number. This should be a number. Then I have to turn this into an integer by using the int function and entering the round brackets and make sure every data here are stored in the round bracket. Now I'll run this once more and said 9 and hit enter, it does nothing. Okay, but if I should say maybe 19, it says yes is greater than 10. Okay, now it does nothing because when the value was less than 10, it does nothing because I have not specified it. I can come down here and say, okay, for you to understand more, let me go down here and print. No, this is less than 10. Okay, let's run this and see what will happen. Now if I should enter a value less than 10, 5 again, it will still not execute. Okay, like nothing happens. Nothing happens. Why? Now why this happens is because after calling the if statement, every block of code must be written under the if statement. like it must be indented. Like just here, you can see there's a space here, there's a space here. Like if I should bring this back, you can now see uh I gave a space like 1 2 3 4. Okay, now this block of code are indented. It's called indentation in Python. They are indented, and to do indentation in Python, you use four space 1 2 3 4 for indentation, or you can just simply use tab. Just click on tab and it will indent the whole block. And every block, every code that is indented under a function or under a statement, the block of code will run only if the statement is true. Only if the statement works or maybe it's true. That is when the block of code will work. Now this statement is false. S is not greater than 10. So all these block of code are like a child to the if statement. So they will not execute. I said if S is greater than 10, do this. So if it's not greater than 10, you will not do this. That is why no input came out. But I can remove this as a child. Now take this as to the beginning. So when this is not greater than 10, it will overlook this block of code and continue by following other block of codes. Now this block of code here are not indented. Okay, so it cannot execute if this is true or not. It doesn't concern this one. This is just like on its own, just like the variable is on its own, this is on its own. So the if statement cannot affect it. So if the if statement is true, it will execute this. If it's not true, it will leave this and continue. So by continuing, it will print this. Now let us run this again. I'll say this is 4. Actually, and I said no, this is less than 10. Okay, you can see that I may include if I should include 10, it won't work because 10 is not greater than 10. If I choose enter, no, this is not greater than 10. But if I should put 10.1, 10.1, let's see, I think this should work because 10.1 is greater than 10. 10.1, I hit enter. Okay, that's not a float. I will explain more what's happened there. Okay, I will explain for you guys what's happened there. But for now, let's say maybe 12. I hit enter. It says yes, this is greater than 10. And as you can see here, it's also printed no, this is not greater than 10. Now why this happened is because it checks if this condition is true. If it's true, run this block of code and then continue with others. Okay, now this condition is true and it run this block of code and then continue with others. And right here on others is found another print statement. It has to print it because I doesn't consign it. Once this is true, run this and continue with others. If this is not true, leave this and continue with others. So the print statement here are the others. I can include other block of code right here. Maybe z equals to 33, z equals to maybe hello. Okay, now these are like others. Print z. Now if I should run this, let's see, and then I enter 56 and hit enter. It says yes, it is greater than 10. No, it's not greater than 10. Hello. Okay, now after checking this block of code and it is true, it will print this. Now after printing this, it has to continue and do others. So continue with others, it will print this one and also print this one and also continue if there are other codes. Now to check if this is greater than 10, do this, and if not greater than 10, do this. We have to use what we call except, sorry, else. Okay, we have else, we have else if. So for now, let us use else. Okay, now what else does, just like when you are speaking your normal language, if you are going to school today, please check on me. Else you may leave. Okay, if you are going, check on me. Else means if you are not going, forget about it. Okay, so if else is greater than 10, do this. If it's not greater than 10, let us do this. Okay, as you can see here, I included a colon. Okay, simply means I've closed this, then I have to indent it and continue. Now any block of code that will run under a specific function must be closed. You must include the colon to close it. Then other block of code must be indented. Like as you can see here, there's a space here before the blinking, there's a space here. Okay, it must indent. Okay, now if it's greater than this, do this. Else print this is not greater than 10. Okay, now let us run this. I'll enter 15 again and hit enter. It says yes is greater than 10 and ended. Okay, this block of code was not executed because this condition is true. So if this is true, do this. If it's not true, do this. So if this is true, do this and leave this. If it's not true, do this and leave this. So you can do it and continue with other block of code like like print hello. Okay, as you can see, the hello was not indented, there was no space at the beginning, so it stands on its own. It's not like a child to the else. Okay, now let's check again. Maybe 2, this is not greater than 10, hello. Okay, it continues with other block of code, that is why it printed hello. If I should run this again and maybe enter a greater number like 20 and hit enter, it says yes, it is greater than 10, hello. You can see after printing it is greater than 10, it leaves this one and come down to hello, because hello was not indented. So hello stands on its own. After doing this, then continue with other block of code. That is why it's printed hello, and it will continue if there are other things written which are not indented under them. So this is how if statement works in Python. Okay, we have floats. We have what we called float. I've showed you guys what is float. Now to write the float, remember after including the float, you include the round bracket first and then the closing bracket, and then enter the data you want to include inside the float method or float function in Python. Okay, now what I want to include is the input, and inside the input we specify what we want to do. Okay, remember float returns the value with a decimal. Now let us run this again. I'll say 20, I hit enter. It says yes, it is greater than 10. Remember earlier we did 10.1 and it gives us an error message that was not a float. Okay, now if we should run 10.1, I think it should work now. Okay, it says yes, it is greater than 10. Earlier it gives us an error message, but now it is working because 10.1 is 10.1 is a float. Okay, I can also print out the value we entered. Like maybe we entered, what we entered was stored on S. Okay, I can print out S. Now if I should run this, maybe I'll enter 30 without a decimal. Let's see. Now it gives me the result in decimal. Okay, it gives me 30.0 because this is a float. It turns it into a float. If I should turn this back to an integer, okay, and enter 30, it will print out the 30 like that. Okay, maybe I enter 30 and hit enter. It gives me 30 without a decimal, because integer are numbers without decimal and floats are numbers with decimal. Okay, so float works and integer works. This is how we can use if statements in Python, and we can also use nested if, putting if statements instead of if statements. Okay, but let us be going deeper. Now we have else if. Okay, elif. If this is greater than 10, do this. Else if, okay, let's say elif s is greater than maybe 20. Remember to add the colon. Come down here and print yes, this is greater than 20. Okay, maybe let us print the s, print s. Now if we should run this, I don't think this will. Okay, it's worked, but we will include, you can include as many elif you can. Elif, it is greater than 20, do this. Maybe elif s is greater than 25. Okay, print. Yes, this is greater than 25. Print the number. Okay, now you can include as many as you want. Now after everything, the else will be the last one. Simply means if this is this, do this. Else if is this, do this. Else if is this, do this. Else if it's not any of the above, if it's not any of the above, then do this. This is how we write the else. Elif, you join everything together, but else you write a colon, then put an indentation and start typing here. Else print all numbers are less than 10. Let's print the number. Print, sorry, print s, the variable that contains it. Now let us run this again. 30 and hit enter. Yes, it is greater than 10. Okay, okay. There is an error somewhere. If I should include, like here I have 25. If I should include 25 and hit enter, it says yes, it is greater than 10, and not yes, it is greater than 25. Okay, now let us see why this happened. This happened because 25 I entered is greater than 10, so it will execute this block of code. And remember, once this is true, it will forget about others, because other says else if, which is if this is not true. If this is not true and this is true, do this one. Now this is true, it will leave other ones and continue with any other thing, any other code done. Okay, I may include any other code done, which may be print hello world, maybe print hello. Okay, now to solve this, we may say let's do this to be greater than 30, and this should be greater than 25. This should be greater than 20. Let's make this 20, 25, and then 10. 10 should be the last one. Okay, because if it's not greater than 25, it will check 20. If it's not greater than 20, it will check 10. If it's not greater than 10, it will now tell us that every number we entered is less than 10. We may say 25 here, 20 here, and then 10 here. Let us print this once more. Enter a number. I'll enter 26 and hit enter. It says yes, it is greater than 26, and it returns the number 26. Hello. It's continuing with other code. Hello. Okay, let's make this more. Here are other codes. Enter a number. I'll enter maybe 25 and hit enter. Remember, it is not greater than 25, it is equal to 25. So here it says yes, this is greater than 20. It is not greater than 25, but it is greater than 20. So it says yes, this is greater than 20. the value what I entered was 25. Hello, here are other codes. So it's continue with other codes. If I should run this again and enter uh, maybe 19 and hit enter, it says yes, this is greater than 10. 19. Hello, here are other codes. Okay, so this is how everything works. We can also use greater than or equals to check if the value is greater than 25 or equals to 25. Okay, we put this greater than or equals to, greater than or equals to. Let us run it again. Remember earlier we inputted 25 and it says it is not greater than 25. It's used other ones. Now that I enter 25 simply means if it is greater than 25 or equals to 25. So that is equals to 25. You say yes, this is greater than 25 because this is what we typed. We might type yes, this is greater than or equals to 25. Okay, you might change this on your own. So that is how everything works in Python. That is how everything works. Now, what if I enter a value which is not greater than any? Okay, maybe the value I entered are just maybe 9, which is not greater than 10. 9, I hit enter. It says all numbers are less than 10. The number is 9. Hello, here are other codes. So this is how you can work with if statements in Python. We have if statements elif, elif, and else. S is normally 1. We cannot add another else here. Okay, we cannot add another else. Now, as you can see, there's a red line here, there's a red line here. It won't work. If I should run this, it gives me an error message. You can see syntax error. You cannot add two s. Okay, like when you are talking to someone, maybe you say to the person, hey, if you are going, check on me, else you may forget, else you may leave. Okay, or maybe, hi, if you are going to football today, please check on me, else there is no match, forget about it. You cannot say two else, maybe else there is no match, forget about it, else there is no match, check on me. No, you can't use two else, you can only use one else. Okay, if you are going to football match today, please check on me, else there's no match, forget about it. Okay, so we use only else, but you can use many else if, or something like, hey, if you are going to football today, please check on me, else if you are going to watch cartoon, or you're going to watch a video on the video show, check on me. Or if you're going to market today, check on me. S, if you want to relax and you wish to invite me, okay, call on me. S, you are not doing any of them, forget about it. So you can use many elif, okay, but S should be one. Okay, now I want to introduce us to what we call looping in Python. Okay, now if you can check this program we have been doing, once I enter a number, maybe 24, and hit enter, it says yes, it is greater, and our program ended because there's no other code to execute. There's no other code to continue with. So our program just ended. If I want to enter another number, I have to click on start again and enter the number, maybe 10, and hit enter. It executes, and our program ended because there's no other code to execute. Okay, so our program ended. But we want to include what we call while loop. Okay, while loop are used to continue looping a particular code, continue looping maybe a particular block of code if the condition is true. If the condition is true, keep on looping. That is what a while loop does. Is to keep on looping the particular block of code until maybe the condition is false before it will stop. And to define a while loop, we use this function called while. Okay, while. Now, which condition we want to set this? We might set it while true, or why this, or why that. Maybe let's start from why true. True is a class, and because a class is has to start with capital T, then the rest should be in lowercase. Why true. Now remember I told you, after writing like these functions and you want other block of code to work under them, you have to add a column. Then after adding a column, you have to indent other block of code. Like as you can see here, this color of code has changed because there's an error. It says this code is unchangeable. Okay, there's an error. We have to indent all this block of code by highlighting all of them and click on tab. Okay, you can now see I have indented all of them and they are now stored under while loop. Okay, they are indented after the while loop. Now if I should run this, since the condition was said to be true, it will keep on looping through the questions. Okay, enter a number. I enter 24 and hit enter. It says yes, you are greater than, yes, this is greater than 20, and it still asks me to enter another number. Okay, it is because of the help of that while loop. I may say 34 and hit enter. It says yes, this is greater than 25, 20, 30, 34. Hello, here are other block of code. It still asks me to enter another number instead of me to click on start to do that, like as we were doing before. But I'm no more clicking on start. It keeps on prompting up. I may enter 10, 19 and hit enter. It gives me answer. As I ask me to enter again, I may enter 0 and hit enter. It still gives me answer and ask me to enter again. S, maybe this is false. For this to be false, maybe let me enter E and hit enter. It breaks the program because E is not an integer. Okay, the error breaks the program. So that is what while loop does. We might say, we might remove this from true. We might say while S is greater than 20, or maybe it's greater than, the highest number we have here is 25, maybe it's greater than 25. Let's leave it on that. Why S is greater than that. Now S was marked error here because the variable S has not been defined. Although there's a variable here named S, this S is a local variable, while this S is a global variable. I will explain more on our next video, but local variables are variables that are inside a function. Okay, while global variables are variables written outside the function. Global variables can be accessed anywhere around the globe, around the coding. Okay, inside your coding. Okay, inside the globe, which is here. The global variable can be accessed anywhere, but the local variable cannot be accessed anywhere. So I have to remove this block of code here. I have to remove it here and maybe check on the top and paste this. Okay, now the error has been corrected. This has turned to a global variable because it is not stored under a function. It was not indented. So S is equals to this. Now it checks if S is greater than 30. Why S is greater than 30? Continue running all this block of code. S, do other things. Okay, now let us check. I'll say, remember our question was S, why S is greater than 30. I'm gonna say 31 and hit enter. The code keep on looping. As you can see, it's keep on looping because there's nothing to stop that. Okay, I'll stop this here and said maybe let's remove this. Now I have removed this block of code from under while loop, so they are standing on their own. Okay, they are standing on their own. I can now, okay, let's run this once more. Let's run this once more and enter 31 and hit enter. It keeps on looping. Okay, now to stop that, let us add what we call break. Okay, to break the loop. Now let us enter 31 again and hit enter. It says yes, it is greater than this, and our loop breaked. But that is not what we are trying to do. Now let us do, maybe we want to end the loop so it will not keep on looping. We may say something like S is equals to hello. We'll copy this block of code again and then paste it here. What happens is that it checks S. If it's greater than 30, then it will continue doing this, doing all of them. Then at the last one here, you enter S again and it will check if the S is still greater than 30, it will continue, because if you remove this block of code, it cannot see else again, because the block of code which will be running is the block of code which are here. Okay, now let me run this once more. Enter a number, maybe 31. I hit enter. It says yes, it is greater than 25. It still asks me to enter a number. Now let us check down here. Down here we have a print statement that say here are other codes, and these other codes are not indented, so it stands on its own. The while loop are not seeing it, else the program is false. If it is false, it will continue from others. Okay, now it still asks me to enter a number. I'll enter 34 and hit enter. Yes, it is greater than 34, greater than 25. Enter a number. Now maybe I enter 20 and hit enter. It breaks our program and say here are other codes. Our program just ended, and just like that. Okay, maybe let's say, let's change this to be 10, because our lowest number there is 10. While s is greater than 10, keep on doing all these things. Okay, let me run this. 32, I hit enter. Yes, it is greater. Enter a number again, maybe 20. I hit enter. Yes, this is greater than 20. I hit 20. Enter a number, maybe I enter 19. Yes, this is greater than 10. As you can see, all our block of code. 32 is greater than 25. Yes, it is greater. 20 is greater than 20, greater than or equals to. Yes, you say yes, greater than 20. And then 19 is greater than 10. Yes, greater than 10. Now it asks me to enter a number. Maybe let me enter 9 and hit enter. It says here are other block of code. Our program ended because here we setted the while loop to be greater than 10, and 9 is lower than 10. Okay, so our program ended. Remember, I told you guys that while loop works, it checks if the statement is true. If the statement is true, it will keep on looping. But if it is false, it will end the program. It will end the loop and continue from other block of codes. Like it says here, here are other block of code. It continue from other block of code. Okay, so this is what a while loop does in Python. Okay, but this block of code was not executed, so no need for this. Let us do this. Okay, now what happens here is that after running this program and it is not greater than 10, it will come down here and say all numbers are less than 10. And enter 25. Yes, it is greater than 25 because of the help of greater than or equals to. Okay, or let me just enter number greater than 25, maybe 26. Yes, it is greater than 25. Enter a number again. I enter maybe 21. Yes, this is greater than 20. Enter a number again. I enter maybe 15. Yes, this is greater than 10. Enter another number. Maybe I enter 9, which is below 10, and hit enter. It says all numbers are less than 10. Here are other block of, here are other codes. So hope you understand what while loop does. While loop works only if the condition is true. Once it's not true, it will break the program. Since the condition was true when it was above 10, it keeps on looping, asking me to enter, asking me to, it keeps on looping every block of code here. But once it was less than 9, the condition was not true again, it was false, so it has to end our program and continue from others. So this is what while loop does. Okay, on our next video we'll treat more on while loop and for loop. We use for loop to iterate in a string, in a list of strings. Okay, we use for loop for iteration. We use while loop. In our next video we are going to treat more, go more far on if statement, while loop, for loop, and so on. Okay, if you are new to my channel, click on that subscribe button and also like this video if you find this video helpful. Follow me. If you have not watched our previous videos, this is a full Python tutorial class. Okay, and this is the 5th class. You can go to the description video and try to watch our introduction to Python, the first part, second part, third, fourth. This is the fifth class. Okay, thank you guys, and then meet you up in my next video.